charge about 5 cents a word on average. If you get up to about 10 cents a word, 500 words, that's $50. If you're paying 10 cents a word, chances are you're probably paying somebody that's paying somebody else to write for you, called ghostwriters. But on average, it's about 5 cents a word. Now, how many of y'all have $5? Okay, everybody should be raising their hand because everybody goes to Starbucks and spends $4 on a coffee, right? So everybody has $5. Okay. Have y'all heard of a website called Fiverr? Yeah, Fiverr.com. Fiverr. Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Okay, so the question is, the content that you're adding right here on this page, this is actually on your home page.
Right, I understand where it's going to go on my home page, but is what you add right here going to come up on what you write?
That is the main goal. So her question is, the content that you write, that you put inside here, is it going to come up in the search engines? That is the main goal, right? The goal is to actually build. Where are these words coming from today? God. The main goal is to build pages to get ranked in the search engines to generate traffic to your website. That's the goal. So let me get over to Fiverr. All right. So Fiverr, Fiverr.com. $5. You can actually find somebody that will write content for you.
So what will 500 words cost?
500 words, $5.
So it's all $5 left?
It's $5. Now it depends. There's a couple of things that they'll do, okay? So it's $5 for 500 words, but it might take them a week or 7 days or 10 days. If you're not in a hurry, it's $5. If you want them to double the words or add additional 250 words, it's another $5. Or if you want to donate to them, it's $5. Okay. The people I use, I pay $5 for 500 words, and I'm not in a hurry to get the content back from them, so I'll wait. And the way Fiverr works, you go in, sign up, you find somebody that you want to hire to write your content. First rule of thumb: make sure they're from the U.S. Okay. I'm not saying there's something wrong with people in a different nation or country, but the way they write is not the way that we actually speak or read here. Okay, they write really good, but it's just not the way that we read. Okay, so you want to make sure you find somebody from the U.S. that's here. Make sure they have at least 4 to 5 stars and they've had quite a few projects. Now the way this works, you go in, you sign up, you find somebody, said, hey, I need you to write this article for me. Make sure you're very detailed in asking or telling them what you want. If you have links to websites to provide them information so they can scan over and see, okay, this is what I'm writing about, provide that to them. As a rule of thumb for me, I at least try to find 3 different websites with content to give to them. So that way, what they're writing about, everything's there. Once they write the article, you'll get notification. You'll actually read it and see if it's right, see if it sounds right, see if it needs to be rewritten. Typically, they'll do 2 to 3 edits. Here's the good part. They don't get paid until you rate them. So if you don't rate them, they don't get paid. So if they do good, make sure you rate them. If they suck, don't rate them. No, still rate them, but don't use them again. I started off just spending $5 just to see how they write first. Once I figured out who writes good in that, then those are the people I go back to. Okay, so Fiverr is pretty good. So one of those things I'd recommend that you use. The other thing on Fiverr, make sure that they guarantee their content passes Copyscape. Copyscape. Does anybody know what that means? Copyscape. Are you a teacher or something?
Yes.
Okay, Copyscape is actually that. Copyscape searches the content to see if it's been plagiarized. A lot of teachers in school actually use Copyscape on the students' content. So, in your case also, make sure that they specify their content will pass Copyscape. No, it's just very few people know what Copyscape is. You know, when you said plagiarism, I'm like, okay, very few people know about that part of it. All right. So anyway, so those are the two things I recommend that you go after: Fiverr and Copyscape. All right. So now back on your home page itself. One paragraph is not going to do it. You're gonna need at least 5 to 10 paragraphs or more on your home page. The Woodlands. If you want to know, actually see how competitive it is, go to Google and just type in your city name with the state. Don't put anything else in there. Do Katy, Texas, the Woodlands, Texas, Spring, Texas, Sugar Land, Texas. On the top of the search results, it's going to give you a number. That's how many websites you're competing against, or pages you're competing against. The more pages you're competing against, the more content you're going to need. Okay? Now, I have a sentence that's up here on this page, and it is, have you thought about real estate in Katy, Texas? Is that the same phrase as Katy, Texas real estate? Okay? No, no.
But it has Katy, Texas in it. It has Katy.
Okay, it has Katy, Texas. Is it the same phrase?
No.
It actually is. Because when search engines crawl the web page, they're actually reading the words and they're counting the words itself. Real estate, Katy, Texas, is the same thing as Katy, Texas real estate. Texas, Katy, same thing. It's still Katy and Texas. Texas, Katy is just reversed. The search engines still count the words as the same. So they're counting the individual words on the page and the number of times the words are repeated. That's how they know what the focus is of that page itself, or that's what the target is of the page. So that's why search engines actually look at the number of times or percentages words are in content. That's how they know what the focus is or what's being targeted for that page.
So Tim, on a lot of web pages, you'll see at the bottom it just says Katy, Texas real estate, Cypress, Texas real estate, over and over and over. Is that acceptable?
Okay. If you have Katy, Texas real estate in the bottom, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to put it in there 100 times. Search engines already know the tricks. Don't try to trick the search engines. Do everything legitimately, okay? Now, if you put Katy, Texas down there one time and it's linking to another page with the content about Katy, Texas, nothing wrong with that. But don't try to trick the search engines of repeating the same word multiple times down at the bottom. Or take and repeat the words and take the font to look the same as the background. You don't want to risk of having your domain name blacklisted. If it gets blacklisted by Google, good luck getting it out. So just do everything on the up and up. Don't try to trick them. They already know all the tricks. Okay? So any questions about your content on your home page?
When you said that you put in something and you saw how many web pages, like that's just searching like Google, and you put in like the Woodlands, Texas, where is it that it says how many?
It's going to be up at the top in the search results. There you go. The Woodlands, Texas, 23,800,000 pages. Now here's I mean, it's good for the Woodlands, but it's bad for somebody trying to actually get ranked in the search engines. I think one of the reasons that this is actually climbing so much is because the oil and gas industry and all them building out in the Woodlands has actually boosted the economy up there so much and just creating all these pages. That's the only thing I can think of. So now would I still create a web page for the Woodlands? Of course. I wouldn't let this have me do otherwise. I'd still create a web page for it.
So if you sell in several markets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Katy and Rosenberg and Sugar Land, which on your home page, would you want to put those keywords between the pipes as opposed to all the school districts? Rosenberg, Katy, Belleville.
No, and let me show you why. His question is, on your home page, you know, instead of using the school district and everything, you actually use the cities. The problem is you actually need a single page to target that specific city because you're writing about that city itself. When you start adding other cities into the same page, you're actually diluting the chances of getting ranked, because when somebody's looking for Katy, they're also looking for schools or things in Katy itself. That's why you're using the secondary phrases.
But that would mean you'd have to have a separate website for every market.
Not a separate website.
But isn't this a website that we're on?
Okay, this is a website, but this is a web page. The home page is a web page. And if you look underneath the menu bar over on the left, I have specific pages that I've created for these cities in my surrounding area. So my home page might be targeting Katy, but I've also created web pages targeting specific cities around Katy as well.
And that's under your city search.
Correct.
Okay, so I thought we were creating a page right now that was going to go on our home page.
Yes, you are. The content that you're looking at right there, to edit from the homepage wireframe settings, when you click on edit, that content is going on your homepage.
Okay. But if you don't want to limit yourself to one city,
I'm not limiting myself to one city.
Then do your city
That is
search page.
This,
yeah, show us
Okay.
your content.
all right, here's my content for Katy.
Okay.
Okay, and then if I go to, I don't know if I have content on here yet for the cities. Okay, I don't have content on the cities yet. Remember earlier I told you I got to a certain point and
That's the one you do have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
The one where you wrote about.
Okay, so this is nothing but the history of Katy, surrounding area, economy, demographics. And what I did is I actually hired somebody, paid them $5, go out, write the content. But I provided them WikiLeaks, a link to Katy, Texas on WikiLeaks, so that way we can get the demographic data, a link to the city of Katy, Texas website, and a link to the school district, so they could do that, and a link to the Katy Mills Mall. And I told them this is what I want on the web page. Now in this case, all this content is about $20, but I wanted a lot of content on the homepage itself. I'm going to show you neighborhoods because it functions the exact same way. Okay, so my homepage is targeting Katy specifically. This is what's called a neighborhood page. I'm targeting a geographical area or a specific geographical area. There's no difference in this page than a city page. The only difference is the content. Do you see what I'm talking about? So,
yeah, my confusion is that on your home page, you're only targeting one city.
mhm,
Okay, but most agents are going to sell in multiple cities.
of course.
And I understand you can create a page for every city or every community or every neighborhood under other tabs, but isn't the home page unique?
It is, but my main focus is Katy.
Right.
An agent in the Woodlands their main focus might be the Woodlands. So your main focus should be your homepage. Your surrounding areas are in addition to the homepage itself.
Okay.
What about for us, is there something pick one or go ahead and put Bryan and College Station
I don't know. I'm kind of torn, and the reason for it is, on your homepage, I'd probably, and this is a unique situation. Bryan College Station. Whenever somebody talks about A&M, they know it as Bryan College Station or College Station itself, not Bryan. Okay. I'd probably target Bryan College Station. I wouldn't even target Texas A&M. The reason for that, it's too competitive, and you can create another page inside your website if you want, but on your homepage, I wouldn't target that part of it. I'd make sure you do the schools and other attractions that target people in that area. Then what I would also do is create 2 separate pages, one for College Station and then one for Bryan, and actually separate them out. That's the only thing I would do differently. Another good example is somebody that's in Central Texas. They're in, say, San Marcos, but they're also members of Austin and San Antonio. Their homepage actually needs to focus their market area, which is San Marcos. Then they create other web pages on the cities that are surrounding them. Now, can you provide links on your homepage to these other city pages? Or maybe have a short paragraph about these other city pages? Yes. Now,
Is that when you highlight in like a copy so that they can click on, like when they're reading
correct.
the Woodlands Spring and they can click on Spring or the.
Correct. Now, I'm not, what Frank is asking, can you target multiple cities on your homepage?
That's my question.
Yes, you can. Okay. I prefer to target individual cities because you're targeting specific geographical locations. When you're targeting multiple cities on a page or multiple areas, then you're broadening the areas of what you're trying to target. And what I found is the more specific you are on a page, the easier it is to get ranked. That's the only thing. So
Pretty much you're saying if someone searches for Richmond, Texas, and you come up and they go to your page and it's all about Katy, they're going to be disappointed.
right, but what's going to happen is they're going to hit that page, they're going to look, that's not what I'm looking for, and they leave. That's called a bounce. And the goal is actually lower the bounce rate of people hitting your website and leaving.
So you want them to hit the page for exactly what they're looking for.
Correct.
Just like your own pages.
Correct. That's why I do individual pages on everything. Yes.
So your web page, your website focuses on Katy, Texas. I mean, defaults to that. When you hit
The
it,
homepage.
homepage does. And then you put in your city, you put other surrounding cities in there, and you have a page for those as well.
Correct.
And you also target neighborhoods in Katy and can target a neighborhood in wherever.
Correct.
Another, but they have to go in and do some searching on your web homepage to find those sites. And what he's asking is, can you develop one that will default to those different cities automatically, correct?
Okay. The web pages that I'm creating is not because somebody's going to go on my website and go look for this neighborhood or whatever it is. They're specifically for the search engines.
So the search engine will bring them up automatically.
Yeah, so if somebody does a search for Cinco Ranch, the goal of that page is when somebody looks for Cinco Ranch, I want that page to show up. They click on that, it goes to the Cinco Ranch page, not my home page. So if they do a search for Richmond, Texas homes for sale or whatever it is, I want my page to show up. They click on that, it goes to the Richmond, Texas page.
If Brenham was on, if you had a page for.
If I had a page for Brenham, if it's in the search engines, they click on it, I want them to go to the Brenham page.
So every city that you have in that search, if they clicked on that, then it would.
Okay.
The goal is to have them go to that specific page that we're targeting.
Okay, so they don't go
And then
through
they'll
a
see
portal,
home
or
up
they
in
don't
the
have to go to
corner.
your site.
No,
Like if you own phyllisgray.com, somebody goes there, they'll get that site. If I'm working 2 different areas, I really don't want them to go to phyllisgray.com. I want them to go to Spring or the Woodlands.
right. You want them to go to a specific page. And it's for the search engines. It's not for somebody to come to your website and read all the content.
Okay.
It's really for search engines. Okay, and like what Frank was saying, you can still target multiple cities on your homepage, but you're going to need a lot of content. a whole lot of content. Because think about it. If you need 5 paragraphs for Katy, Texas, I'm probably going to need 5 paragraphs for Sugar Land. Well, if I put those 2 on the same page, you're almost doubling the content that you're going to need on the page itself. So it's easier to target something geographical that's specific versus something that's a broad area.
So do search engines only rank your homepage?
They'll rank every single page.
Ranking your whole website?
But for instance, on the city search ones, when you have that drop down and those cities are there, you're not as elaborate on those cities as you are on your focal point page.
I'll be honest, I've been lazy. That's why there's no content there.
I'm saying,
But yes.
but not necessarily you, but in general, if you were targeting Brendan as well, you would have a pretty elaborate description.
Almost like the homepage. Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay?
And one more question, sorry.
It's okay.
I want to target real estate investors. What's the chance they're going to type in investor on Google versus investors?
Investors or what?
Just do I do singular or plural?
Singular or plural is the same thing in the search engines.
Okay, so it'll come up even if there's an S.
But I wouldn't target investors because investors are not going to be searching for themselves. Okay? The words you'll probably look for is investments. Okay?
I just mean in general words that could be singular or plural.
Search engines look at them as the same.
Singular in?
Singular or plural, doesn't matter. They look at them as the same.
Okay, cool.
Okay? Okay, so I want to, if y'all look up on the screen, I want to show y'all something here. I'm going to go ahead and submit this. Okay? Now, this is on my page. I can go back, I can edit, I can modify. Now, if I want to take this content and put it in a different position or use it on a different tab, or not different tab, but a different template. If I go to a different field and I click on a text field and I want to use that content for this other field, when I click on edit, at this point, because I've already added the content, I can choose from existing. And when you choose from existing, there it is. Okay? So once you add content to a text field, it doesn't matter what template or what text field you use moving forward, it's always going to be there for you. All you have to do is go choose the existing content. If you load it and you want to modify the content, all you have to do is you have to select it first, choose from existing, you select it. After you select it, then you can go in and you can edit it from that text field. And it functions the same way from any other template that you choose from. All right? We actually went longer than what we thought. Y'all had some really good questions. Why don't we take about a 5-minute break? Real quick directions. Walk out the door, turn to your right, there's a hallway. Go through that hallway, turn to your